Next year, this Monday night, to a big week ahead for President Trump. Last week, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This week, it's the Republican National Convention, and it's already underway tonight. President Trump greeting a crush of supporters in North Carolina. The images of the crowd, many taking note that in the crowd, few masks, no social distancing. President Trump seeking a second term and trying to send a message as he travels the country in this pandemic. And it all comes as new secret recordings of the president's sister, a retired judge, are made public. What she said. And the ABC News exclusive, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris last night right here, and Biden responding to the president's attacks on his mental fitness. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
Pandemic? What pandemic? President Trump was greeted by a crowd of supporters in North Carolina today. No masks or social distancing, but plenty of enthusiasm for Trump.
This has been a real love fest between North Carolina and Trump, right? It's been incredible.
The president kicked off the Republican convention with a dark warning.
This is the most important election in the history of our country. Yes, it is. Don't let them take it away from you.
Some 300 delegates gathered in Charlotte, the city that was supposed to hold the convention. But most of the speeches will be back in Washington, including at least 7 speeches by members of the Trump family. The president is promising a positive and hopeful convention, but it begins with lots of extraneous drama, including brutally harsh words from his elder sister, Judge Marianne Trump Barry, who was secretly recorded by his niece Mary.
He has no principles. None. You can't trust him.
Judge Trump Barry describes her brother's actions as president as harshly as anybody who spoke at the Democratic convention.
It's God weed and the lying. Oh my God, I'm talking too freely, but you know, the change of stories, the lack of preparation, the lying, the holy.
And as the convention kicks off, Kellyanne Conway, one of the president's most fiercely loyal advisors, announced that she is stepping down to spend more time with her family. Our 4 children are teens and tweens starting a new academic year, Conway wrote in a statement. For now, and for my beloved children, it will be less drama and more mama. There's been no shortage of drama for the Conways. Her husband, George, has become one of the president's harshest critics. He announced he'll take a break from Twitter. The Republican convention plans have been curtailed due to COVID-19. But in some ways, the message is identical to the Trump message 4 years ago.
We're going to make America great again. Again.
The president is using his live appearances before crowds to draw a stark contrast with Joe Biden, who has rarely ventured outside of his home state since the pandemic hit.
I felt an obligation to come to North Carolina. It's Joe Biden was going to have their convention in Milwaukee, and they didn't go there at all. They didn't do this. We did this out of respect for your state.
David asked Biden about that in his first interview with running mate Kamala Harris.
We saw the president just this week during the convention. He traveled to Pennsylvania, he traveled to Wisconsin, Iowa, Arizona, all of that while you were making your case to the American people. I understand the restrictions of COVID and campaigning in this time, but can you win a presidential election from home?
We will. We're going to follow the science, what the scientists tell us. We've been able to travel places when we've been able to do it in a way that we don't cause the congregation of large numbers of people. Look what happens, what's happened with his events. People die. People get together. They don't wear masks. They end up getting COVID. They end up dying.
So when you hear the president say this guy's afraid to leave his basement,
guess what? I have left my basement, but here, in the meantime, 500 million people have watched what I've done out of my basement. And guess what? People are listening. People are listening. It's about being responsible.
And John Karl with us live tonight from Washington. John, as you point out there, the president and his team have gone after Joe Biden for not traveling. Biden has said he's listening to the scientists and to authorities. And Biden also fired back at the president last night here on those attacks over his mental fitness. Here's what Biden said, and I wanted to get your reaction, John, on the other side here. I want to turn to the blistering attacks we've seen from President Trump just this week alone on your mental fitness, whether you're up for the job. His campaign has called you diminished, and I'm curious how you would respond to that.
Watch me, Mr. President, watch me. Look at us both, what we say, what we do, what we control, what we know. what kind of shape we're in. Come on. Look, I think it's a legitimate question to ask anybody over 70 years old whether or not they're fit and whether they're ready. But only thing I can say to the American people, it's a legitimate question to ask anybody. Watch me.
Let's put the attacks aside then. The American people remember Ronald Reagan was 77 when he left office. You would be 78 entering office. And you have said yourself that you are a transition candidate. Does that mean a one-term president? What does that mean?
No, it doesn't mean.
So you're leaving open the possibility you'll serve 8 years if you get elected?
Absolutely.
All right, John, former Vice President Joe Biden making it very clear there that he believes it is a legitimate question for voters to ask a candidate over 70 about their mental fitness, if they're ready. And you heard his words from the president, watch me.
Well, Republicans are taking that advice. They are watching Joe Biden. They intend to make his mental acuity, his fitness for office, a central theme. David, I expect you will hear them talk about it over and over again over the next 4 nights.
And we should let our viewers know we posted the entire transcript of that interview online for them. John, thank you. We'll see you, John, shortly. I hope you join George, Lindsay, and me, the entire political team, for coverage of the Republican National Convention now. It's their week, 7 p.m. Eastern on ABC News Live, and then 10 p.m. Eastern right here on the network.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.